Today we're out at UMBC. We're going to do training on the air handlers, the train ones, which are air handlers 4, 6, and air handler 1. This is air handler 1, that's air handler 6, and on the third floor you'll find air handler 4 up there in that mechanical room. Starting out, as far as the sections go of the unit, how it's broke down is this is your return fan. This is your mixing box. Outside air comes in. This damper, which is locked in place. Train has that, they supplied that one, but Siemens has one in the ductwork that they control. And then this is your train return damper as far as coming in on the backside. If you look up in here, it's Siemens is actuating it. All train does is supply the damper on it. You have your return fan with the scroll cage. You got a couple of lubrication spots to grease your bearings, the fan motor, your belt. This one only has 1 on the return as far as your belt goes and 2 on the supply. And coming down, you have your filter section with your preheat coil. And you come down farther, another section, which is your chill water coil. And then in here, you have your heating coil. And then down here is your supply fan. Pretty much the same as your return. This section, you can see they have 2 fans, some shivs, your motor, the frame, scroll cage. There's your lubrication ports for your bearings. And then your fan has some lubrication spots. The way that they recommend, they have a maintenance check every month. They want you to observe for any running conditions or noises that are unusual. Clean and replace filters if clogged. Coat permanent filters with oil after cleaning. Change bag filters when the pressure drop is more than 1 inch. And then they ask for you to see your filters, see air filters on page 94 in the operation and maintenance manual. Re-lubricate your bearings if necessary. See if the fan bearings lubrication, that's found on page 97 of your O&M. And then they want you to check and adjust your belts every month, and then they have a plan in here for every 3 to 6 months. It's pretty much the same thing. They just want you to check to see if the drain pans are dirty. If so, clean them. Tighten wire connections, inspect the coils, align your fans to shivs. And then your yearly inspection, they want you to check for corrosion, any damage to the coil, if it needs to be repainted, clean the fan wheels, the shafts, damper linkage and all of that, check the screws. Just basic maintenance stuff. I mean, keep up on it and last. I mean, train makes a nice product. If you wash down the unit, you have your condensate drain right here. You also have some drain ports off of the pan. If you need to go ahead and drain the system, say you have a leak on a coil, you want to repair it, you have your shutoff valves, which are located above. You have a strainer with a drain down port there as well. You come down here, you have unions on the coil. So if you ever had to replace it, there's also unions up there. You pull this section out, you can unscrew it, drain it. This is a high vent here. You can drain it down below. You have some BP ports, which the balancer looks at. Siemens has their valves. We have some drain down ports down below. Same with the chill water. You have your pressure gauges, temperature as well. And the same with your preheat coil. Same exact setup. The only difference on this, you have a preheat. It has a recirc pump on it. On that, it's operated by Siemens. They will control it depending on temperature and the call, the demand. You have a bypass. Every one of these has a bypass for flushing. They like to use it. I mean, if you need to flush the system, shut off the coils, flush it out. Say you had a dirty strainer, you can run some water through your bypass first after you clean your strainer. Right here are the 2 greasing points for your bearings for the shaft. If you look on page 97 in your O&M, you'll find what type of grease to use. They recommend not to use any other type of grease. These are compatible greases that are in there. Texaco, Shell, Mobil, Chevron, Exxon, and Keystone. You want to go ahead and grease those. Go off of what I demonstrated or showed before on that page, how often your monthly inspection, every 6 months, 3 months, and your yearly inspection. Grease them as necessary. As far as your belt alignment, if you don't have a laser to align it, or if you have a flat edge, you can eyeball it pretty close. Put a straight edge across here, and then you want to make sure that you have alignment straight across from this sheave to this one. And then you don't want to over tighten your belts, because if you over tighten your belts, you'll decrease the efficiency of the motor and it won't last as long. Also, if you have the proper gauge to check that, it's recommended by the manufacturer. As far as anything else goes in this compartment, if you needed to work on the motor, if the motor was bad, disconnect the power, lock it out, and then you can go ahead and either replace it, or if you want to send it out for repair, you can send it out for repair to work on it. As far as lighting goes in these compartments, Train provides a light in each compartment. It's a LED light. It's ran off a low voltage, and in the box on the outside, there's an on-off switch with a GFI. If you need to work on it, you have power to the GFI. The on-off switch obviously turns on and off the light. If you have an issue with it, there's a transformer inside. Check to make sure that the power's good coming in. Check it going out. And then if that's bad, you know your transformer's bad. There's connection points down in the actual unit that are mostly Molex plugs. Sometimes if the wire comes loose, they're just little prongs. You may have to pull them out and reinsert them. For the most part, I've went through every one of them and they're all good. The connections are tight on it. As you can see, the lighting works in here. There's really no maintenance to those. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. If it's bad, contact Train and we'll replace it. This unit comes with a 2-year warranty, parts and labor. As far as maintenance goes, obviously refer to your O&M manual. Keep up on it. Your filter change, your greasing, you know, as they recommend. All right, if you look up top, you see isolation springs. Not only does your fans have isolation springs on it, on the frame, you also have it on the pipework and also the ductwork. 50 feet away from the equipment, as far as sound-wise, spec required isolation on it for sound. If a spring for some reason goes bad, the best way to do it is you have enough support here. The line's not going to come down. The pipes aren't that heavy for these isolation springs. So you could pull it down and change out the spring. Just undo the nut up top, and then you can pull the spring out. As you can see up here, there's your shut-off valves as well behind your balancing valves. Your ductwork comes up, and if you look down through here, this is the return line that comes off the back of the stage. It feeds from way over there, loops around, and goes down there. Reason for it is sound. They were able to get a sound attenuator in there. And then your supply fan supplies out the wall and down to the theater. If you look at the theater and you're standing in there, all the black duct that goes around in the actual staging area is this unit.
That's the only thing it serves.
It's the only thing that serves.
Is what, the back part?
The actual staging area. Air handler 6 feeds the black box. Air handler 1 feeds the stage area of the theater. And air handler 4 will feed the seating area of the theater. We're up here on the second floor mechanical room with air handlers 1 and 6. You have a supply fan that supplies the room. In this section, it's just the blower wheel and a sheave. The belt comes down through. On top of here, you have the box, which is on top. Inside the box is the sheave on the motor and the actual motor. Back down here is your filter section. There's, I believe, 4 filters. The best way to look at these is refer to your O&Ms. How often to grease them, what type of belt is located in your O&Ms as well. Located over here is the starter for that fan. Siemens operates it in the auto position. If for some reason it doesn't have a command or you want to override it, you switch it to the hand position. If the fan was to trip out, say that it overamped or anything like that, or there was an issue, inside here of the starter is the reset. It's a set of contacts. With the overloads, you reset the overloads and the fan will come back up. You can check your voltage here, your amps, or you can also check up there. If a motor was to go bad and you needed to replace it, before working on the motor, I would go ahead and shut the breaker off, lock it out, tag it. Or if it's bad, so nobody actually comes up and says, oh, well, it's, off. You locked it out, tagged it out. The next person knows, hey, something's up. Maybe we got one on order. The only maintenance on this is going to be replacement of the filters. If the motor requires oil greasing and a belt change, check your tension. Obviously, on anything, maintenance is a key thing. There's an actuator actually inside. So before the fan will kick on, the way that this operates, you have an outside air damper there and one there. Both of them have to open before the fan will kick on. It has an in switch, which just protects it so that you don't kick the fan on and the damper doesn't open.